All right, so this is the Flynoceros Skoll V3. I built a bunch of the V2. It was such a nice frame, just so nice. Flynoceros really knows how to make a frame. They use just beautiful carbon. They chamfer the edges. They got thick arms. All the pieces just go together so nice. So I'll tell you the differences between the V2 and the V3. On the V2, you might remember it had this same battery plate here, and it had different levels that you could lower it or raise it to. Also, this front part here was a little bit different. You can see now it's kind of got a cutout for a GoPro right here. I'm not sure. I bet you could just put a GoPro right on here and just strap it down if you really wanted to, but it does also come with, let me find it. So I think the standard pieces that you'll get in TPU for this frame is this piece, which is just a generic piece. It's going to go right here. You have 3 different holes for, angle. So if you want a lot of angle or not a lot of angle, you can adjust it how you want. The standoffs just go through the back here and through this. So pretty cool. You could put a Session on here or a Hero or probably a lot of other different cameras. Pretty cool. And then if you wanted to, well, okay, what else do you get? You get these pieces, which I have no idea what these are for. I probably should have looked it up first. It's a bunch of little spacers, tall and short ones. I don't know. I'm not going to use them. And then you get these 2 pieces, which are standard. They came with the V2 as well. That's kind of how the side plates mount to the frame. So just like on the V2, you got the 2 plates, arms in the middle, and then this also sandwiches in the middle there. As you can see, there's one in the back, one in the front, and then that's what the side plates screw to. Okay. They have 3 different versions you can get. I think there might even be more than that. They have the standard version or the classic version, which I think is what I got. It's got the 40 millimeter wide spacing. They also have a narrower version that's like a 20 millimeter like roll cage that you can get. That's, half as wide as this. And they have a version called the TAC version, and that's for TAC FPV. And I think it's low profile, and I think it's a unibody. This has separate arms, and that one is a unibody. And then they have another one, the Specialist, I think it's called. I don't remember. I know they have like a mount for the front here that's like for a GoPro and for the DJI system all in one, which is really cool. And then they have this setup for the DJI system as well, which is what I'm going to be using. Keep in mind too, if you are going to be running the DJI system on this and you order all this stuff, there's not directions for everything. It did come with a nice booklet for how to put the regular frame together, but there's nothing showing you really how the TPU goes for the DJI system. I mean, some of it's common sense, but some of it took me a while to actually figure out how to mount this antenna mount right here and the air unit holder. It's kind of crazy how it goes together. I'll try to show it as best I can, but once you got it together, everything just fits so nice, and it's really nice. One thing I was looking at is the cutouts for the SD card and for the USB Type-C. They're not exactly lining up perfect, so I'm probably gonna have to do a little bit of cutting on the TPU there. I know I have this in the right way, so. And then also for the Type-C, you can see like it's only showing about half of the plug there, so I'm gonna have to cut that out. But other than that, man, this thing is just so beautiful. Everything goes together so nice. So you do have to order this stuff separately. It's like 15 bucks for the DJI stuff. It's like 10 or 15 for the arm protectors, and then it was like 15, I think, for the GoPro mount. But that's such a beautiful mount. Look at that thing. It's just so amazing. It's the same as the other one. It's got the 3 holes for different angles, and it just fits in here just like that. I mean, look at that. It's just so nice. This is actually the 6-inch version. They have 6-inch arms and 5-inch arms. They might have 7-inch, I don't remember. You get more space in this one though. I mean, look at all that space in there. Tons of room. And then you do get, these come with the frame standard as well. These are the micro cam mounts. So they just go on the inside like this. They go in like that. You put a screw in through the middle there. And then your micro cam fits in there. I didn't check yet, but it looks like it's going to be about perfect. Once the camera's in there, the lens is going to be like almost flush with the front cage there. So that'll be nice. Let's see if yeah, it's gonna be just inside the front bumper there, so that's gonna be perfect. What else? Oh, I don't think I finished what I was saying. If you are using this for the DJI system, it comes with 3 of these pieces that get sandwiched in with the arms, but one of them is narrower. And that's the one that you want to use because you need the narrower one to be able to fit the air unit piece as well, the TPU air unit piece. So if you put this longer one in, both longer ones, you're going to have to take the whole frame and back apart just to put that narrower one in because that's what you need. It still has the same thing where you just take out 2 back screws or the 2 front screws and you can lift it up like this. I'm trying to think of how it would do that with the air unit in there because the air unit would like stay put since it's mounted to that bottom piece. But I think that would work. I think the antennas, go get a can. Let me see. You might have to take out 4 screws actually. Let me see. This one's holding it down, so. So yeah, that whole piece would just stay there and this would slide up so you can access your stack and whatnot. So there's a better look at the air unit holder. Okay. Like I was saying, see, the whole, I mean, it's so close to the edge right there. It's going to need a little bit of trimming back as well as the other side. I mean, that's just crazy. What the hell is going on there? I got it pushed all the way back as far as it'll go, so it's not me. So I'm going to have to trim that out a little bit, but not a big deal. Such a beautiful frame. So yeah, you will have to take out 4 screws. Those 2 right here. Oh, actually, there's going to be 2 more after I'm done as well for the bottom here. Yeah, that's not going to work. You're going to have to take out 6 screws. So you might as well just do the front. 2 screws in the front, lift up the whole thing. You're good to go. Other than that though, everything else is pretty much the same as the V2. I mean, the arms are they're either 4 or 4.5 millimeters thick, and this piece, the battery holder or battery carbon piece, whatever, it's got, you can see here, it's got like angle cuts. It's cut down like a triangle, so it just kind of pressure fits in there. So once it's in there and this is screwed down, this won't come up. So that's kind of cool how you don't need any slots or anything in the side of the carbon, no screws or anything to hold it. It just stays in place from those cuts, which is pretty nice. Alright, so I'm going to get this thing built up and then I'll be back. So what I'm using is the new Pyro drone stack with their new 45 amp and the F4 stack, the Race FC. Got some oh my god Hype Train V2s, 2306, 2150. I think 2150 kV is going to be really good on a 6-inch 4S. And I'm going to be throwing these CL Racing LEDs on the arms. Got the DJI system. And that's about it. So I'll be back. Alright, so here it is, about halfway done. Wasn't too bad. I did end up just leaving the front 2 screws off so I can just tilt it back, but then I mean it's definitely a lot easier than doing it from the back, but it doesn't want to stay up. Like, see how it just wants to tip over when I go to set it down. So I was using a rubber band that I wrapped around the antennas, and then I brought it around and wrapped it around here, so it held it in place very nicely. Man, this thing is just so nice. If I was into 5-inch, this is the only frame that I would want, I think. So tons of room. Look at the stack. Look at that. So I got the 4-in-1, then the flight controller. The flight controller's got quite a bit of space from the 4-in-1, and then even on top of the flight controller, there's probably another inch to this top piece of space. And then all that room in the front there behind the camera. Just tons of room in this thing. And then the air unit, you know, it takes up this whole back space, but it just all fits so nice. I did, I don't remember if I showed this already, how the plastic or the TPU was like kind of covering the SD slot and the charger or the Type-C plug. So what I did was I just took my iron when it was on and just melted, just kind of stuck it in there and moved it side to side and melted away the TPU until it was good. So it looks like it's good to go now. Same with this side, just melted it away. I haven't tried yet, but I'm hoping that the plug fits in there since it's so close to the carbon piece here. I don't know, I don't think it's gonna fit, but I'm hoping that it does. I'm hoping that when I go to plug it in, the air unit will kind of push backwards a tiny bit to be able to fit the plug. I wish that they would make different plugs that had like longer, where the part that plugs in was longer. It'd be so nice for situations like this. This isn't the first time I've had this type of situation where if it was just a little bit longer, I would have been able to plug in, you know. But anyway, man, this thing is just so beautiful. It kind of looks funny with the micro cam in here because this is so wide. This is 40 millimeters wide and the camera's 19, so it's pretty much double as wide as the camera, and it's right in the middle, so you got those two pieces on either side. But I like how it's wide because it covers up the stack. I'm not a big fan of frames where like you can see the stack sticking out of the sides, so that works good. And then also, you know, for bigger batteries, if you got a pretty big battery, you can stick on here and it's not going to hang out the sides or anything. I love that I wasn't able to show you guys the arms before I put them in, but the end of the arms looks kind of like a fork. It's just like 2 pieces like a fork, and well, you can kind of see here, and that's so that it can go around the stack screws. But then that's so that you can pull the arm out and it doesn't have to mess with the stack at all, which is really nice. So all you have to do is take out these 2 screws and the arm just slides right out. That's awesome. It's pretty nice to be able to lift this up to access the stack. Room to put a strap underneath the 4-in-1 so you can do bottom mount if you wanted to. But I'm sure anybody that buys this frame is probably not gonna do bottom mount. There's no reason to. You got all this space right here for a battery. I think if you use one of those square batteries, that would work really good because it would keep the weight in the center, because it would probably be like from here to about here, and then weight of the GoPro, weight of the air unit. It's probably gonna be balanced pretty good. So alright, I will show it when it's done. Alright, so here it is finished up. It just turned out so perfect. I am so jealous that this is not my quad. Oh man, Just look at that. So like I thought might be a problem, ended up being a problem, and that is the plug for the Type C for the air unit. It just, the side of the plug hits the carbon right here, so it won't plug in. Cannot move this air unit at all. And that's a good thing for the antennas, because if you look on the bottom here, you can see this standoff going across. It's pushing right up against the air unit, so obviously it's not going to push back anymore. And that's a really good thing though, because that's been a huge problem for a lot of people's quads, is the antennas, they pop out because that MMCX connector just pops right out anytime it wants to, so easily. So that's just so awesome that it's pushed up against that standoff. It's never going to come out on its own, ever. And that's just so perfect. But the other thing too is, I don't understand why they designed it this way. These pieces that the standoff goes through, the TPU, you can see how it's pushing it in right here, because they had to squeeze in this way to go on either side of the MMCX connector. So I went with the inside, but then it squeezed this together and it made it pop in, you know? So like if I was able to slide these back out a little bit, it would be how it's supposed to be, but I can't because the antennas are in the way. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe they need to fix that. I don't know what they would do, but maybe the air unit needs to go forward a little bit. If they could make the air unit go forward like 2 to 3 millimeters, then these TPU things would be able to just slide over right lined up with the antenna, and it would still be pushed against it to where the antennas can't pop out, and this would be how it's supposed to be instead of sunken in like that. See how it's sunken in right here? That needs to be popped out. But anyway, not a big deal. I mean, it's totally fine just how it is right now. But like I said, the only problem is I can't push the air unit back any further, so I can't plug in the Type C. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. I mean, if I cut, like use a Dremel and a cutoff wheel or something and just go slice, take out that little chunk right there, it would be perfect. I don't think it would affect anything with the frame if I did that. That might be what needs to happen though, because I have to be able to plug in to the air unit to update it and pair it and all that stuff, activate it. So other than that, this frame is just so perfect, amazing. Everything about it is just so awesome. All right,